you will drag your feet. You will see opportunity. Somebody will email you and say, hey, I want to be your partner and I want to promote. I've got 100 customers ready for you to go. And you're going to be slow to respond. Today I want to talk to you about how to avoid missed opportunities. Literally, the amount of times that people drag their feet, avoid hiring great people, are too slow to make a decision to potentially buy a company, get extra supplies, like literally these opportunities that could be transformational in their business caused by lack of decision making. Not even that the opportunity wasn't there for them to take advantage of it, is that they couldn't make the decision fast enough to capitalize on that. So I want to share with you today how to the mindset behind making faster decisions. When I look at the best companies that I coach, when I look at the founders and the CEOs of the companies that I coach that are growing the fastest, making the most money, keeping the customers around the longest, their superpower is making fast decisions. You know, I don't know if you knew this, but Jeff Bezos has a framework called type 1 and type 2 decisions. Okay. And I want to share it with you, and then also talk to you about the mindset side behind why you might have this reluctance or this fear or concern around making certain types of decisions and how to kind of work through them. But Jeff Bezos' model of type 1 versus type 2 is, I think, best explained through an example, okay, or an analogy. So the analogy is that there are decisions that are type 1 decisions, which is a one-way door, okay? Like a door that opens and you walk through, and or kind of like a turn gate on the subway system in New York City. When you go through that turn gate, it's a one-way. You can't work back. So you put the token in, you swipe your card, and you walk through the gate. That's a one-way decision. That's a type 1 decision. Type 2 decisions are where it's a revolving door where you can walk into the building and out the building. That's a type 2 decision. The challenge is a lot of CEOs, entrepreneurs, and even executive leaders, they're making type 1 decisions or type 2 decisions with type 1 discipline and discernment and analysis paralysis. They're literally making decisions that could easily be backed out of. For example, if you hire the wrong person, hiring the wrong person is a type 2 decision. Yes, it sucks. Yes, you go through all this pain, you hire somebody, they don't work out and you let them go, but it's not a type 1. Type 1 decisions are things like buying a company. I would say type 1 decisions is setting salary thresholds for a team member. I don't know if you've ever tried to do a pay cut on somebody, but I had somebody recently ask in one of my groups, they said, I'm having an issue with an employee. They're not working out really well. I'm thinking they're not performing the way they said, and it's really affecting culture. So I'm thinking of right sizing their salary, going from here to here. And I kind of laughed. I said, if you think their performance isn't going well, check it out after you give them a pay cut. Like, it just hardly ever works. So setting salaries is a type 1 decision. Strategic product initiatives where you're going to go down, you're going to add this new module, or you're going to decide to expand. Like, those are not type 2 decisions where you can back out of. Understanding the difference and the level of scrutiny you bring to each one will help you move faster. Okay. So a few mindset beliefs I want to share with you in regards to making faster decisions. Number one is, what does the word fear even mean? Because most people are scared to pull the trigger out of fear. Here's what I've discovered a long time ago. It's an acronym, and it stands for false evidence appearing real. Often, people's fear around making a decision is based on a belief that just simply isn't true. For example, you may want to start a business, and you're worried that if you start a business that you might lose everything you've built up to that point in your life. And there's no facts to support that. Sure, if you grab all of your personal savings and get a line of credit on your home and borrow money from your family and put it all in on day one into a business, yeah, you probably could lose it all. But nobody's asking you to do that. Nobody's asking you to make that kind of risky decision. Most people start businesses just side hustle, a little bit, revenue a little bit. They just do a little bit. So like a lot of people make these assumptions, false evidence appearing real. Like there's just no evidence to support the assumption, right? Or they're worried that if they like pick up the phone to ask for a favor from somebody that they don't know, the person's going to scream in their face and think they're the worst human being in the world. My question to them often is, has that ever happened? Okay, maybe it has. Maybe it happened once. Did it happen 10 times in a row from 10 different people? If the answer is no, then you have this belief of appearing real, of this false evidence appearing real that just isn't based on facts. So that's number one. The mindset of understanding what fear stands for, I think, is really important. Number two is understanding the downside and the upside of making a decision. So the way I think about it is when I'm making decisions, I'm always asking myself, what's the potential downside around this? Like worst case scenario. And then what's the upside? And I'm always looking for, it's similar to type 1, type 2 decisions. I'm always looking for a disproportionate upside to the downside. So for example, if I'm going to buy a company, which is a type 1 decision, it's not easy to get back out of, but if I buy the right company or a real estate project, maybe you're thinking of doing some real estate, maybe it's sending your kid to a new school. I don't know, maybe it's deciding to travel remotely for the next 12 months because you can, So what's the downside? Okay, so downside is if I buy this company, it may not work out the way I think it, so I want to do all this stuff. Okay, worst case, I could probably sell it for this amount of money. Maybe, the downside is you could sell it for what you paid for it. The upside is this thing could make you 2-3 times your money over the next 3 to 5 years. That's the downside, that's the upside. The way I like to think about it is always ask yourself, what's the downside, upside? And then can you live with the downside? Can you live with so most people don't understand that. So they'll make investments in Bitcoin. Now, the probability of Bitcoin, for example, going to zero is very low, but the probability of it losing half of its value in the next month is high. So can you live with that downside? If the answer is no, don't do the deal. Don't make the decision. If you fast forward probability and say, this is the downside, this is the upside, I could live with the upside because that's amazing, but I can't live with the downside, then don't do it. That's number two. Number three is the idea of, I have a lot of clients that, for whatever reason, at every level of growth in business, there's typically money mindset beliefs that come out. And, especially around hiring people, salaries, growth. And what I say to them often is create the parameter and the structure and then give it to somebody else. If you know that you have a really hard time, you drag your feet making decisions, you drag your feet hiring people, investing in marketing is tough for you, take it off your plate. Make it somebody else's responsibility. Because the moment you make it somebody else's responsibility to drive growth and run marketing, for example, then they will push and they will create and they will drive. And it's now no longer a mental gymnastic exercise that you have to do. You've given it to somebody else. Now you can create some structure and parameters and say, hey, I'm going to monitor the investment versus the return. But if those things are true, I'm just going to let you to continue to invest. I see this happen often for business owners that have a marketing department and a sales department, but they're the person that runs both departments, right? Or marketing, sales, and delivery, right? If you are the entrepreneur and you are involved in all three of those, here's what will happen. You won't go and do marketing because the more marketing you do means the more calls you're going to have to get on. That's sales. And the more selling you have to do, the more delivery, you're going to be responsible on the fulfillment side. So if you are the same person that has to do marketing to get your calendar busy, to then get even busier doing fulfillment, you will not make those decisions, okay? You will drag your feet. You will see opportunity. Somebody will email you and say, hey, I want to be your partner and I want to promote. I've got 100 customers ready for you to go. And you're going to be slow to respond. You're not going to take action. You're not going to make that decision because you are part of that. So what I always recommend my clients to do is separate the people involved. I want marketing to push as hard as they can. I want sales to push as hard as they can. And I want the fulfillment delivery person to push as hard as they can. And I don't want them throttling each other to slow down the potential growth. Just that simple concept alone will allow you to grow. But if you're responsible for all three of those and you're in the middle and any one of those things growing will create more stress for you, you won't take the right action. Okay, so There was this great exercise I got from a friend of mine. I think he got it from an individual named Jeff Spencer, the champion mindset. I may be getting that wrong, but it was a simple question. It was, when I feel alive, and what are the things you do? And then when I feel threatened, so these, I feel threatened when and then these are the things. So essentially the activities that make you feel alive, make a list of those. The activities that make you feel threatened, make a list of those. And make sure that these things are not you doing them. Because the decision fatigue, the decision's fear, the decision, whatever, anxiety is going to show up. So those are the three big mindset sides. Number one, if you can just look at every decision you got to make through the type 1 versus type 2 decision matrix, that will help because you can always walk back from a type 2 decision. It'll allow you to increase the velocity of your decision making, which is going to increase the growth of your business. And just understand that fear is false evidence appearing real. That if you analyze the downside and you can live with it, then make the decision if the upside is there. And then finally, take the things that make you feel threatened and give them to other people to make decisions so that they can push those areas of your life and your business forward. And that is how we can really accelerate your decision-making process. If you want to learn more about the mindset side of how I approach my day and my communication and the way I set the vision, I want you to click the link below and check out my future living training. It's essentially the way I live 6 months into the future so that I can bring that energy into my day today. A lot of people follow me on social media. Recently I posted on my Instagram live, we don't manage time, we manage emotions. This framework, so you can click the link below to get access to that. This is how I manage my emotions, by future living. If you can live in the future 6 months, bring that back. And there's a whole framework for how to do that, right? That is where all of a sudden you're not managing time, you're managing emotions. And with the right emotions, you can take better actions that will get you the results that you're looking for. So that is what I got for you today. I hope this video finds you incredibly well, and I'm looking forward to hearing how it all works out. Leave a comment. Let me know what's been the most useful thing you've heard below in the comments, and we'll talk soon. Peace. Later, everybody.